dark now. And so here's the pattern slash and spread. This is there. So I was watching a podcast episode the other day, and the co-host was introducing himself. He's a guy that I follow on Instagram. He's a designer. I call him a designer. We'll get to that. He's a designer in New York. He makes really cool pants. And as he was introducing himself, he goes, I'm an ex-software engineer, internet personality, and a designer. And his other co-host said, you have a real hesitancy to call yourself a designer. Like, what's good with that? And he said something along the lines of, I have a hard time saying it because I feel like there's a certain threshold that I have to pass in order to call myself a designer. I haven't passed that threshold because I'm not paid by it. When he said that, it really struck something in me because I noticed it in myself that I have grinded and hustled and chased and hunted down a paycheck in any form to validate to myself and others that I can call myself a designer. And I'm talking, before I started this job, I've hunted down big collaborations, I've hunted down freelance clients, I've hunted down commission checks for the validation of having a monetary tie to saying that I'm a designer. So I started saying that I want to be a fashion designer at around 3rd grade, however old you are in 3rd grade. And when that little girl says it, it's, oh, how precious, so cute. And then by the time that you are graduating high school, you go sit down with your high school counselor and you say that you want to go pursue a fashion design degree. It's consider your options. And then at my big age, if I said I wanted to be a fashion designer, I'm pursuing that career, it's nurse, she's awake again, come sedate her. And so what I have noticed, especially like at my age, you say you want to be a fashion designer, they're looking at you like you said you wanted to be the next Hannah Montana. And I think that when there's no check, when there's no monetary value assigned to artistry, people look at you crazy. And now I notice when I introduce myself as a fashion designer, there's either an immediate respect and validation, or there's a you print on t-shirts, huh? And then we further the conversation, and then there's the respect, right? And so I think this conversation is really relevant, especially as I'm furthering my brand project and starting my atelier, because I've had to build a skin that doesn't care about calling myself one thing or another. I feel like I've stayed where I'm at for so long because, oh my god, I wanted it so bad, the validation of being on somebody's payroll, that I could say I'm a fashion designer. I've wanted it so badly to work for someone else, especially graduating in 2020 during the pandemic. Nobody's hiring. I wanted it so badly. And so I've had to build a skin that does not care whether or not I'm on somebody's payroll in order to say that I'm a fashion designer. I had to. I wrote something in my journal the other day that went something along the lines of, it had to be this thing that I wanted so badly to pull me to a bottom that I had to pull myself out of. It had to be the thing that I was like, wanted more than anything else. It had to be this thing that brought me to, I think rock bottom is dramatic, but like it had to be this thing to like strip, like, what now? You know you're supposed to be over here. I'm gonna give you what you wanted so that you could show yourself that you need to be over here. You know you're supposed to be over here. What are you doing over there? So it had to be this thing to show me that. And now that I see it, like, I said something in my other video that I was like, I have no choice now. I really don't. I don't feel like I have another choice. I got what I wanted. It's not what I wanted because it's not where I'm supposed to be. The thing that this got me thinking about, and this is really a projection onto myself, is that this is my 3rd if you're counting. This is my third time kind of like starting something, and I had to build a skin that was comfortable in showing myself trying and finishing the thing. So I had my Kiara Nicole brand, which I did Shein with. I did like a big production line and like mass produced something. I sold stuff online. And then I went to New York for my internship, kind of dissolved the brand, and then I started my Rosabird brand, went to New York Fashion Week, and then I haven't done anything else with it for like 2 years. So I have like projected onto myself that other people potentially could be like, we've heard this story before, we've seen this movie before, like, oh yeah, she's starting something new. But I really had to like build a skin that was just like, okay. And then when you watch other people's like brand stories, they've started like 6 brands before Amazon, for example. They started like 15 brands before Stussy, you know? Like, I had to build a skin that doesn't care. So, with all of that being said, I looked at my Notion the other day, which is what I'm using to kind of like timeline plan, and I got a little overwhelmed because I have like two if you're counting the bag. I don't really count the bag, I guess, but I have like one sample finished completely, and that pattern is like 6 or 7 pieces, and then I have my short sleeve top that I've been working on, that pattern, and that's only 2 pieces. So I really should be finished with that. I said that by March I'd be finished with all of the patterns for the like each SKU that I'm working on. That means I have 3 more patterns to work on, which isn't crazy, but I need to get started and get finished with that. I think I'm gonna do a sprint today, finish the pattern, do a sample or prototype, and kind of see how this cover stitch machine works. I haven't started it yet. I haven't threaded it. I don't know how to thread it. I've never used a cover stitch machine, but I think I'm gonna try to do all of that today. Let's not say I think. I'm gonna do all of that today. You know that saying, like, shoot for the moon and you'll land on the stars, but this is shooting for the moon. We'll see. Let's go get started. Quit while we're ahead, right? Stop talking. Start doing it.
I like see where my weight is, but I feel like I've been cooked every day. This is actually what inspired me to do it. But ever since I quit my job,
I gave you all the love I got. I gave you more than I could give. Gave you love. Call me when you need love. Call me when I gave you all that I have inside, and you took my love. You took my love. I keep crying.
I just had a little break. I made myself a lamb flatbread sandwich with the tzatziki sauce. Fantastic. But I do feel like I gave myself the itis, and I want to go lay down. But like, it's like what's that book? If you give a mouse a cookie. I know that if I finish the pattern, I will want to like see the prototype put together. So I just have to get that far. I'm like almost done with the back. Gotta finish the front. Like, I'm almost there. It's so easy, but I'm like, a nap with a little YouTube video in the background would hit so hard right now. Okay, the pattern is done, and as you can see, it's dark now. And sometimes I'm like, oh my god, am I too slow for this profession? Like, maybe I'm not smart enough. But the math that I did was slightly off, so I had to correct that. Thankfully, the pattern is done, but as I said, we shot for the moon today, and it's getting late. Okay, so here's the pattern slash and spread. This is what I used to do my math. This is the pattern you can't even see it. This is the pattern like transferred over into a bigger piece of paper. And it is quite literally part of the process to be wrong. Like it's, you make the pattern, you put it on mannequin to test it, and then it's like the process to be like, okay, this fits wrong, do it again. When I tell you, it would actually piss me off. I've gone through so much. It would piss me off so badly to be wrong. You see how dark it is outside? I've gone through so much today. It would have like actually, I'm delirious. It would piss me off to be wrong, but it's part of the process. The pattern is done. This literally took me like 20 seconds and I'm so excited. It was literally so intimidating. This guy saved my life, but my first time threading a cover stitch machine, and it was like way easier than I thought. Shout out. I'm not even gonna shout them out. But I remember from school, there's always like a little guide in here to teach you what you're doing and make sure you stay on track. But also shout out Ken, shout out this guy on YouTube. This sprint was helpful. I get a lot farther than I would have if I broke this up over a couple of days. So you guys helped me out by hanging out with me. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo.